Live from Kokomemle, broadcasting to all 16 regions of Ghana, this is the AM News on Joy News. Details now. Ashanti Regional Chairman of the NPP, Bernard Enchiboisiakun, popularly known as Chairman Wumi, faces more legal trouble as the Financial Intelligence Center begins compiling a new case against him, marking the third in under 2 weeks following ongoing investigations by the Police CID and EOCO. While details remain unclear, Majority Chief Whip Roxy Nelson Dafiamapo confirms the center is preparing its own docket against the embattled Ashanti Regional Chairman. More.
I'm even informed that the FIC is also preparing its own docket.
Financial Intelligence.
Thank you.
Center.
So this is not the first time that an accused person at this stage, a suspect, is investigated in respect of suspected offenses that is committed contemporaneously. Indeed, by practice, if a suspect is taken through initial police inquiry, a prima facie is established and prosecution commences. Prosecution always has the power, and there are statutes, to go back to court and vary or amend the charge sheet if further evidence emerged.
The Transport Ministry begins stakeholder consultations on amending the decade-long ban to fulfill the President's campaign promise of legalizing commercial Okada operations. Tricycle operators are waiting on the sidelines. National Union of Tricycle Operators is conducting emergency sensitization rallies in Techiman, preparing riders for new regulations while tackling a critical challenge of drug abuse among operators that erode public trust. Anas Sabit brings us more in this report.
Government has constituted a 13-member committee to put together a legislation, and as part of the requirement, we are expected as a union to sensitize our people to ensure that they abide by road safety regulations and also ensure that we prepare their minds towards the new regulations that are coming up. That's why we are here today.
Hamza Hafiz, who has led this fight for years, however, shared the reality operators face in the hands of the police and city authorities.
Of course, you know that any work that you are doing in this country that you don't have a legal backing, anybody can abuse it. We have issues with police, some exuberant police who are harassing our members and taking some kind of illegal monies from them. And also, there are certain local assemblies in this country that harass the operations of tricycles. And so, since this thing has come to stay, we can put laws together to regulate it and make it better.
Passengers do complain about the behaviors of those who are engaged into those wrong things, because when they are engaged into when they are in it, they don't listen to anybody, they don't respect. Overspeeding, unnecessary overtaking, and those things is the stuff they are in. And so bringing this in on board, it is something that is going to help. So if the person is not into that, respectfully, the person obeys certain rules and regulations that is governing the route.
Yeah. First, you know, the program I am to show me some police for Tata. Then so, and I'm saying, legalization now by police in the end or wearing, or better will be a message or number and I ensure come amount. And they are supposed to be passengers who say, no, but no problem, the break. To your price be another amount, no, when the baby, but we know fixed price bet me a Bama, Indian, so ya back home. To we know the Yanaji Hopa.
Now, the Chief Executive Officer of the non-profit organization Nohihab, Sumaila Chakura, has appealed to the government to consider exempting persons with disabilities from paying taxes on their businesses, or at the very least, reducing the tax burden on them. He stated that such a move would ease their financial challenges and enable them to reinvest their profits into other ventures, helping them grow their businesses. Sumaila Chakura made the appeal at a graduation ceremony for 19 persons with disabilities under the Ablepreneurs Project. Now, Joy News Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam tells us the story from Wa.
The lack of employment opportunities for persons with disabilities, particularly persons with visual impairments and mobility challenges, often force many to turn into beggars on the streets. Most of them have either never seen the four walls of the classroom or drop out of school due to financial challenges. The few that have made attempts to learn some trade or venture into businesses had their dreams shattered due to lack of financial support and entrepreneurial skills. There's, however, a wind of change for some in the one municipality, as non-profit organization NONEHAB has given them a new lease of life to achieve their long-term dream under the project codenamed Ablepreneurs Project. Chief Executive Officer of NONEHAB, Sumaila Chakura, threw further light on the project, focusing on its objectives.
So the Ablepreneurs Project aimed at supporting persons who had some forms of disability to make them economically self-resilient and to also make them change agents in their communities. So the program was structured to deliver tailored business development services to help our participants, our partners, to learn some skills that can help them to upskill their businesses and to become more profitable.
At the end of the training, which lasted for 5 months, 19 of the participants were given toolkits such as oven, tailoring machines, hair dryers, loom machines for weaving, mobile and power banks, and Shena roaster, all valued around 70,000 Ghana cedis. APA was president of the Federation of Persons with Disabilities, Alasan Suleiman, was grateful to NONEHAB and their partners for the kind gesture.
I was seeing it to be a joke because we have been having a series of such organizations which normal said they are organizing a business training workshops for persons with disability. At the end of it, they normally give takeaway, which is rice and then chicken to them, and that ends it. But today, I have seen that NONEHAB is a group which deal with their ways.
Headmistress of the World Methodist School for the Blind, Reverend Monica Abalore Achana, urged the beneficiaries not to be demoralized about their current state, but work harder to be self-sufficient.
Even though society see you as disabled, your family members who are depending on you don't see you as such. And I want to encourage you that those who depend on you, I expect you to work harder.
You've turned our lives around. Now, we never imagined bringing us this far.
News.
You've turned our lives around. Now.
So, quick correction, that project is actually called the Ablepreneurs Project. So, away from that, it was a moment of inspiration and solemnity at the University of Gold Coast as Bishop Dr. Gideon Titiofe was officially inaugurated as the new chancellor. The investiture ceremony brought together prominent clergy, academia, and distinguished guests, all bearing witness the new chapter of the university's leadership. Maxwell Aklobotu has more.
Gold Coast Auditorium was filled with reverence as Bishop Dr. Gideon Titiofe was conferred as Chancellor in a spiritually and academically significant ceremony. Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams led the proceedings, anointed him, and prayed for wisdom, impact, and divine guidance.
The prophet Samuel anointed Saul with the horn of oil, and from that day he became another man. Today, by this prophetic act, using the horn and the oil of God, let our chancellor, become another person. Amen. Become the man that this university requires. Become the leader that this university requires and needs. As we anoint you with oil and with the horn, let the treasures of God embedded within you be activated. Amen. Let the treasures come alive in you. Let faith come alive in you. And let all that is required, resources, and all that is required be summons to come by the four wings. In the name of the Father.
Also present was Archbishop Charles Ajinasari, who delivered the keynote address. In his message, Building Great Leaders for the Nation, he urged the new chancellor to pursue excellence, inspiring a new generation of transformational leaders.
I give a prophetic charge to the chancellor. To Bishop Dr. Titi Ofe, the mantle you receive today is covenantal, not merely ceremonial. As Paul charged Timothy, I charge you, take heed unto yourself and unto the doctrine. Continue in them, for in doing this, you shall both save yourself and those that hear you.
In his acceptance speech, Chancellor Titi Ofe reaffirmed his commitment to steering the university into a new era of growth and innovation.
To every young man and woman hearing me, you don't need a big name to leave a big mark. You don't need to be born into privilege to walk into purpose. In the next 36 months, we are converting the Sprinters Road into a university community. As I speak to you now, we have begun the construction of the Republic Square, a twin tower of 12 floors each.
Gracing the occasion as guest of honor was former First Minister of Northern Ireland. She delivered a heartfelt charge to the youth and students present, encouraging them to embrace every opportunity with resilience and grit.
But you know, that's the point. We don't know where an opportunity will take us until we dive in and take the opening presented to us. Many doors will be opened to us over our lifetimes. It's up to us whether we go through those doors and take the opportunity or perhaps challenges that that door brings.
As Bishop Dr. Gideon Titi Ofe begins his tenure, the expectations are high, but so is the hope for a future built on vision, integrity, and impact. Maxwell Aklobotu's report, read to you.
In other stories, GN Bank was among 23 other banking institutions at the short end of the stick in August 2019, losing its license to operate after it failed to meet regulatory requirements of Ghana's Apex Bank. However, speaking in an interview during the second congregation of the Indum School of Business and Technology, where he is the chairman of the school's governing board, Dr. Indum revealed that 4 banking branches are near completion, which will serve students as an avenue for practical competence in banking, should his banking license be reinstated.
25 students were conferred degrees and diplomas, while 62 fresh students matriculated during the second congregation and fourth matriculation ceremony of the Indum School of Business and Technology. In an interview, the chairman of the governing board of the school, Dr. Papakwesi Indum, acknowledged the significance of the second congregation and commented on the reinstatement of his banking license, which he shares will give room for practical proficiency in banking.
University, for a private college, for a private school, there's always the temptation for people to think or believe that maybe you'll come here for a brief period and then go away. So for us to continue to have the congregations, to continue to admit students, and the numbers, keep going up. We're taking our time to build, to strengthen. So seeing an occasion like this, we believe should give assurance to the public, to those looking for higher learning, to know that the Indum School of Business and Technology is here, will continue to be here. It will progress, and we are even now looking forward to getting our own charter so that it will be clear to in everybody's mind that it will become, and it is, as a university. We are expecting our license back. And as soon as that happens, we're not just going to use the building and the facilities for teaching, but there will be practical experience for people to know how to do all aspects of banking.
The rector of the Indum School of Business and Technology, Reverend Professor Daniel Ijepo-Onyako, had some advice for the graduates, emphasizing the importance of incorporating French language as a compulsory course in the school.
The education we give our students is very unique. Unique in the sense that even though everybody is doing banking and finance in most of the universities, over here, we teach our students French. It is compulsory. You get into the banking hall, a customer will come who does not speak English and may want somebody to help him or her understand what is going on, or at least relate to you as a customer. French is very important to us because all our countries, the countries around us, are all French speaking. So we need to be very much intentional about teaching our graduates the French language.
From Elmina, Abigail Lissel in Nkrumah reports for Joy News.
The Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association in the Ashanti region has rejected an appeal by the Health Ministry for the group to rescind a decision to strike from June the 2nd. The association is demanding the implementation of a collective bargaining agreement outlining their conditions of service, accusing the ministry of delaying a process already agreed upon. Now, the association says the strike will proceed if the agreement remains unimplemented. We'll tell you more here.
Statement from the Ministry of Health appealed to the leadership of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association to reverse its decision to embark on an industrial action following delayed implementation of a reviewed conditions of service that was scheduled to take effect in 2024. According to the ministry, it was agreed that a committee comprising representatives from the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Health be established to continue the process. However, members of GRNME in the Ashanti region feel indifferent, saying clear commitment has not been demonstrated for implementation. Regional Chairman Jones Efri-Anto questioned the relevance of the committee on an already established agreement. He was speaking at the 2025 Nurses Week celebration in Kumasi.
What we are talking about is not negotiation. What we are talking about is signed, sealed, delivered condition of service. That was signed May 2024, exactly a year today. It is 1 year old condition of service we are talking about. We are not negotiating. If we are negotiating, that is different. That is why you can come that what we were about agreeing with the old government, you didn't like it, and so let's negotiate again. This is signed.
Mr. Efri-Anto insists enough consideration has been given to the government to effect the implementation, hence the association's resolution to strike.
So the strike plan is still on? Oh, the plan is on. The only thing that can stop the plan is government writing to start implementation.
For Joy News, my name is Clinton Yeboah.
Well, that takes us right into our business update now with Benjamin Akapo.
The major oil marketing companies have started reducing the prices of petroleum products at the pumps. George Weafe of the Joy business team has the rest of the story.
Allied, for instance, has reduced a litre of petrol from 12 Ghana cedis 65 pesos to 12 Ghana cedis 15 pesos. But this happened on Wednesday. A litre of diesel is going for 13 Ghana cedis 35 pesos. The adjustment by Allied is way ahead of the June 1, 2025 that all the oil marketing companies should reduce their prices as part of the current price deregulation policy. Other major oil marketing companies have told Joy Business that they will reduce their prices at the pumps, but this would happen from Monday. However, they were silent on the marginal reduction. Some of the oil marketing companies have told Joy Business that the reduction has been influenced by the continuous sharp appreciation of the cedi against the dollar.
Well, from the reduction in fuel prices, let's talk about more reductions, because the Ghana Real Estate Developers Association is calling for a reduction in the prices of cement and other building materials in response to the recent appreciation of the Ghana cedi. Now, President of the association, Dr. James Orleans-Lindsay, emphasized that manufacturers and suppliers should adjust their prices downward to reflect the strengthening currency, easing the financial burden on Ghanaians, especially those building or purchasing homes. Dr. Orleans-Lindsay made the appeal during a stakeholder engagement session with the Ghana Revenue Authority, where he spoke to Joy Business about the need for market responsiveness to current trends.
The rules are that you don't price in US dollars. A client should pay the equivalent in cedis at the prevailing exchange rates. It is clear. It is the rule. It is the law. Dollarization of the economy is frowned upon and is actually an offense. So we are saying that we will continue to price in the equivalent, the cedi equivalent at the prevailing cedi rate. But then prices of cement, iron rods, all our components should come down as the cedi appreciates, so that we can then maintain our because you see, as we speak now, 100,000 dollars worth of property now is basically 900,000 cedis from the all-time high of 1.6 million. So, but no developer has changed the price to date. The developer is losing, but we are still buying cement at that high rate in cedis, and that is why we are saying, please suppliers, please subcontractors, come down with your cedi equivalent, because we have not changed our prices. That is all I'm saying. So I'm not saying anything new. I'm not changing the goalposts. We are saying, calm down, because we take components from you to form a house, for want of a simple word. And if now the price has moved to 9 cedis and cement is still at 120, 118, what do we do? So the developer is slowly running itself into a ditch.
And those are our business updates for you this morning, from the calls for the reduction of prices of fuel to cement and other building materials. But stick and stay, because in just a bit we'll be serving you sports, and definitely in there, perhaps one of the weirdest UEFA Champions League finals you would have seen. Paris Saint-Germain thrashing Internazionale Milan in that UEFA finals clash. We'll bring you that together with sports in a bit. Do stay.